All right, once again, it is March 25th, and this is MELS 601. I am your clinical coach. And on the agenda, basically tonight was just review task stream requirements and a Q&A. But I've already reviewed the task stream requirements a couple of times. I'm not sure if I need to go over that again, but I'll be happy to. It's really your time tonight. Just let me know what you need. So, for those of you who are attending, and for those of you who may be watching a recording later, if you do need me to go over anything with you that you were hoping I would go over in this session, just shoot me an email. We can take care of that. I actually have already scheduled a couple of individual Zooms this week and a couple of phone calls this week with candidates in all my cohort, not just this cohort. But if you need some additional help or need some clarification on anything, just let me know and we can take care of that. So for those of you who are here, do I need to go over task stream for you one more time? Okay, you're looking at me like my kids look at me when I say, "What do you want for Christmas?" It's like they want to tell me, but they don't know where they want to start, or they're just overwhelmed by the thought of getting presents at Christmas and they just don't know what to say. So, do you want me to think about it? And that's fine, you can process. But if you do you want me to go over task stream for you one more time?
I started messing around in task stream, like creating my own portfolio and adding those sections. But I don't have the selection. You know how Dr. Lamb said that you choose like this certain thing that he's already made for us to follow. I don't have that on there. So I kind of just been doing like following an example that he shared with us. So I wasn't sure if anyone else has had that experience where they went in to start their portfolio and hasn't had that drop down menu choice. You know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely. I know exactly what you're saying. And you're not the first one to experience that. And definitely not this semester. I don't think it was, I haven't heard from anybody else in 601, but I know a couple of my, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 601. I know a couple of the 601 add-on students had that problem. And Libby, what you'll need to do is contact Wendy Turnbull. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And Tracy, I saw what you said. That was a good one. Yeah, Tracy said she didn't know what she doesn't know yet. And boy, I've been there many times. I could say that every day of my life, believe me. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and that'll kind of kick us off. And the rest of you can be thinking about some questions that you may have. Now, I thought I had, I don't think, well, maybe I didn't have task stream pulled up, but maybe I've got it. Yeah, I do. I just have it. I haven't logged in yet. I've got all these little screens on my, let me move that over. Well, maybe there it is. There we go. Okay, so log in and task stream and my user and pass. And all right, so let's go to Photos web pages, and let's say I want to create a new one. And I go up here and I call it Bullis MELS 601. I think that's about anything. Create new and custom templates by design, correct, Libby? And then I should drop down here and on the bottom, whoa, on here it should say, it's been so long since I've done this because I just worked off my template. Is it competencies for 21st century leaders? What is that's the one that you're not seeing right there? Okay, all right. If you'll go back, and that's fine. If you'll go back to task stream, let me clear this out. I guess I need to create a new one. It's been a long time since I've done one, but I'm not gonna do it tonight. I do it when I have some, not in such a rush and don't want to help you. If you go to task stream, it says you have any issues, please contact Wendy Turbyfield, sorry. And that's the address right there. So Libby, reach out to her. If that doesn't help, reach out to Dr. Lamb. I don't have user rights to go in and fix that for you. Dr. Lamb does, and Wendy does. You should see that. That's through no fault of yours. You haven't done anything wrong or clicked on the wrong thing or saved the wrong thing or deleted anything. It should be on there. And if it's not, she can help you with that. And anybody else that may be having that problem, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, so that should be resolved. And once again, if you do need a refresher on how to create that competency folio, just remember, I'm pretty sure Dr. Church has it in his Blackboard shell, but if he doesn't, I have it right here, video library. I think it's it's the very first link that you can click on, setting up your competency folio. Yeah, that's great. Great. I'm glad you brought that up. Good point. Getting back over to task stream, and what other questions, and I'm going to stop the share, but we'll pull this back up if we need to. Any other questions or issues that anyone is having? And even doesn't have to be task stream. It could be, back into the Absol task that you're working on. Everybody's in good shape. I think the majority, if not everybody, might be one or two that's needs to move forward a little bit, but I think everybody's at least task 3, task 4-ish. So that's a good spot to be. And wrap that up in the next, I don't know what Dr. Schertz told you, but I would anticipate you wrapping that up in the next week and a half, because you need some time to put those artifacts in there, do your school of ed disposition, do your competency analysis, but also go ahead and upload your Absol to TaskStream. Give your evaluator time to not be rushed and evaluate that Absol as well.
That would be my question, Dr. Bullis. On my artifacts, I've tried to get, we've had 2 or 3 job postings, and I have one of them I couldn't do because I had a family member that was applying as a candidate, so they want respectfully, they won't let me part of that one. But I've asked to, do interviews, sit in on the interview. I've asked to look over resumes and to go into a classroom. But I'm getting hours. I'm all right on hours. A lot of them seem to be some of the same stuff, but we go over different things. For instance, we meet as administrators every week for about 2 hours. But so I'm counting that, but it's been different stuff. We went over scheduling. One meeting, another meeting we went over budget stuff. We went over preparing to bring students back in. So it's been different things, but it's still meetings. So I can classify it as different things that we're going over and getting experience in. But I mean, do I just have a picture of the meeting and then just go in and describe that meeting? I mean, is that going to work?
Yeah, absolutely. And I did. It wasn't anybody here. I think it was some feedback that I gave a candidate last night or maybe this morning. I can't remember, on their internship log, because what they did is they had 7 different entries in their internship log, and it was in my 602 cohort. And being a 602, you're still getting used to the process. You guys will be the same way, so you kind of haven't gotten it down pat. But they had a lot of administrator meeting. So Josh, I hear what you're saying. So I had to go back and tell him, give me a little more detail. Administrative meeting where you talked about strategic planning, administrative meeting where you talked about discipline issue, administrative meeting where you talked about a teacher that needed some more support. Yeah, give a little more description there, because if you just put administrator meeting, well, it sounds like you're doing the same thing the whole time. So you can't count, 3 hours for that. But if it's an administrator meeting and the topics or the theme of the meeting is different, then all of a sudden, I would say you have 1 hour. No, you got 3 hours because you were doing different things. So it doesn't have to be a lot, a sentence or two. If there's any question as to what it is, and I feel like you need some more detail, I'll let you know. But yeah, just a little more description there, detail there, so we can distinguish the difference between what you're talking about. Great question.
Another question I have is I'm doing I'm pulling hours at the high school football games where I check people in, screen them for COVID, that kind of stuff. I handle people can't come in and out. I handle the crowd control basically at the front. And every administrator is there with. They have 2 assistant principals and a principal and assistant AD. They're all out there with me, so I know it's administrative hours. Would I group that together, like instead of saying like I did it here, I did it there? Would I just group together? Can I group that together? Say, okay, I got 6 hours at the football game, or that sort of thing. Or would I separate all of that when I enter it?
If it's the same thing, if at every football game you're doing COVID protocol stuff, then yeah, you could just group that all together. But if you know, and you may want to split it up, so showing that you're getting different experiences. I mean, I don't know, you may be walking around doing crowd control, and you may be talking to parents. You know, it might be a situation you know, there that you could count. So I would think about each event and think, what did I do different? So, you know, maybe I did 30 minutes of COVID protocol and screening and temperature taking, but then I went out and I kind of scanned the crowd, or I had to address the situation with the student. Kind of break those up while it all happened at the football game, kind of like the administrative meeting we just talked about. While it all happened at one kind of location at a time, there were different things going on at that time. And make sure that you show that. Make sure that you show that, because you need to show those different experiences so you can count more hours. If you're just like bus duty, you know, 80 hours of bus duty, you know, and that's an exaggeration, but you know, we're not going to be able to count that, because there's only so much benefit you can get from that, you know, about 3 or 4 hours of it. Same thing with gate duty or ball game duty. There's only so much learning opportunities there unless you just show and describe the different opportunities that you engaged while you were doing that.
All right, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, you look like you're on the road. You be careful.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Any questions?
Dr. Bolus, I was just planning on finishing my task 5, hopefully by the end of this weekend, maybe Monday, and
Yes,
then
sir.
spending that remainder of the days focusing on task stream and getting all that done. Does that sound like a feasible plan?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good. You sound like you're in good shape there, Nazmul. Yeah, you're good, and you know, it doesn't have to be done in today. You know, over the course of the next week or so, or next couple of weeks. And somebody remind me, I should know it off the top of my head. I got it in here in my phone. Is this week 11 or week 12, or where are we at? Well, today's the 25th, right? So next week will be the beginning of week 11. So yeah, you're in great shape. You want to be hitting those artifacts in task stream no later than week 13. No way later, because you know you need to have time not to rush and organize. If it's week 14, that's fine. If you scooting into week 15, then a little bit of a pressure cooker there. And let me kind of go over, guys, some common mistakes, or not common mistakes, but some things I need to address. But Nazmul, to answer your question, yeah, you're in great shape. You're in great shape.
Thank you, Dr. Bolus. And you did say we are in week 11, correct?
Getting ready to head into week 11. March the 20, according to my calendar, March the 28th is the beginning of week 11. So we are in week 10 now.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. You're very welcome anytime. Let's see. Did somebody chat something? No. Okay, good. All right. Let me pull up my portfolio here. No, I tell you what, let me not do that. Let me pull up an old portfolio from somebody who gave me permission to share their portfolio. All right, I'm gonna go off screen share for just a second. Bear with me, because I don't want to violate FERPA, and you guys all know what FERPA is. So, Sorry it's taking so long, but I just wanted to show you one. Let's see here. Show you one where somebody has uploaded some things, and oh yeah, I know. Here's a candidate. Yeah. Uh, make sure this is it. Oh no, that's the DRF. Hang in there. I haven't ran off the road yet. I'm still making progress. It's just here we go. Here we go. Well, I'm not finding what I want, so let me go to another. Oh, here we go. Okay, good deal. Perfect example here. I think I got everything I need. Yes. Okay, here we go. All right, so let me share. And if anyone knows this person, don't say that you know this person. But let me show you a candidate and just kind of show you, this is not a common mistake or a mistake example. This is, some things that I want you to kind of get a grasp of what it looks. So you should be looking at this portfolio, and we're looking at communication. You see how they've labeled each of their artifacts. This artifact is for the competency of communication, and it's coming from the APSL. Here's an open-ended, and here's the PSYOP. So obviously this candidate is towards the end of the program, but each artifact is uploaded, and there's a brief description here for each of the artifact, and that's what I want it to look like. It doesn't have to look like that exactly, but I should be able to look at regardless of the competency, I should be able to pull it up, and I should be able to say, okay, the minimum is three artifacts. This candidate, of course, has put more in here, but I know exactly which ones this candidate wants to count for the APSL, which ones wants to count for the APTL, and what are the open-ended. And then there's a description of each. So if I can click on each of these, and if it's just a picture, which I'm not going to click on this, but it's just a picture, I know what a brief backstory of what that picture is. So just that's kind of how I want it. I want to be able to label, because if you just start throwing artifacts in there, it's hard for me to tell, especially if it's just a picture, it's hard for me to tell what artifact goes, or what artifact goes with which one of these areas up here, these evidences. Another thing is, make sure that you go through here and address just the ones that are that pertain to the APSL. But as you can tell, as you get on into the program, you could have a lot here. So it helps you too to keep it organized and labeling. Same thing with your internship log. If you properly label the internship log, then I'll know which semester, 601, 602, 603, 604, and 605. So make sure that you do that. Another thing, and I need to get off of this and go back into mine. Another thing, and as a reminder, a candidate today, it wasn't in 601, but I had to contact this candidate because they uploaded maybe one artifact for me to look at. I think it was Global Perspective, but when they requested comments, let me click on, okay. When they requested comments and they went through the process of letting me know, they clicked on this area. So I had to go through all the 21 competencies looking for one artifact. That did not help my temper or blood pressure at all, because it's time consuming to do that. I got to click on each one and look for the artifact, and if it's not there, I've got to type in something because it requires me to make a comment. If it doesn't, then I keep getting notifications that a comment request has been made, and if I don't satisfy that request from the program, then it continues to remind me, you haven't made a comment, you haven't made a comment. So I had to go into each of those and I just type NA, not applicable, or no artifact was uploaded. And what that does, instead of hitting that and it taking about, really it would take me about maybe 5 minutes to look at one artifact and determine if it was appropriate or not. It took me 10 to 15 minutes going through there and typing all that and satisfying that, and then emailing the candidate and reminding them not to do that, as I've told them not to do that for many semesters now. And so when it was all said and done, we're talking about a 5-minute process, ended up being a 20-minute process. It would be different if it was you and it's beginning of the program and you did it, you're still learning. But when you're on into the program 603 or 604, you should have that down pat by now. So that 30 minutes, I could have reviewed that 30 minutes on my lunch break. I could have reviewed at least 3 or 4 more candidates. I didn't get a chance to because I had to go and do that because this candidate didn't do what I asked him to do several times. So please, please do not click this button up here. You've heard me say it. I think you heard Dr. Lamb say it when he was doing his town hall, but please do not click that or click that. Just click the ones that you have put artifacts in, and that way I will know which ones I need to look at. Okay, all right, I'll quit getting my face will go back to its normal color. You can tell that increases my blood pressure when that happens. So we'll leave it be at that. All right. Let's see. What else can I help you with? I was trying to think if there's anything else that you need to know. That just some common things, but I think that's pretty much it. The main things I run into is people throwing artifacts in there and not properly labeling them to where I know what evidence they're coming from, and the other is clicking requesting comments on everything and not just the ones that they left artifacts in. Internship logs. Remember, you don't have to do anything with digital learning competencies. By default, you're satisfying digital learning competencies by showing the technology that we're requesting in the rubric. That's just for your information, knowing where they're at. Now, some candidates, and I can't remember if I told you this before, but some candidates will take the work that they've done in this competency folio, take it to whoever in their district approves DLC credit, and they will show them this competency folio, or up here where it says publish and share, they will share their competency folio with that individual. A lot of times it's somebody in the human resources department. They will share that and they will satisfy their DLC credit. As you know, as an educator now, we all have to get our DLC credit within each renewal cycle. This can satisfy that, but it's not up to Gardner Webb. It's up to your district as to whether they will accept it or not. So you might want to have that conversation, telling them what you're doing. Say, I've created this electronic portfolio of artifacts that I've done and work that I've done, and they're the DLC competent, which are digital learning competencies, are embedded in this. What I'm having to do, will you count this as my DLC credit? And sometimes they will. It's just the conversation you need to have with them and then share it with them. It's not anything to do with Gardner Webb. It's just taking something you've done with Gardner Webb and applying it to what's going on in your district, to whether you can get DLC credit. I actually have an exemplary. I just remembered I've got an exemplary shell. Might be right here. Are you guys seeing my Blackboard shell right now? Okay, great. Yeah, competency folio exemplar. If you'll see what this individual's done when they have posted, this is kind of how they've labeled. I forgot I had this. I would have showed this to you at the beginning. This is what they've labeled for each of their competencies, and they've highlighted here digital learning. So the person at the district level in their system that was reviewing this. They know what they're looking for. They wrote their explanation here, and they actually got DLC credit for that renewal cycle for doing this. So if you want to go into my Blackboard shell, this is a really good portfolio for you to look at. You know, it doesn't mean yours has to look like this. It doesn't mean that at all. It's just kind of showing you what it can look like. You be creative with this. This is yours, and you can, you know, change the font, change the color, change the you know, instead of a little leaf here, if you want a choo-choo train, put a choo-choo train in there. But it really is yours. But this is a good one just to kind of look at to get an idea of how you need it, what direction you need to head. Looks like something came up. Oh, okay, yeah. The comment, of course, you guys can see it in the chat, was wondering why Dr. Lamb said not to request comments. You do request comments when you put your artifacts in, but just for those artifacts, or just for those competencies that you put artifacts in there, not for everyone. Yeah, you have to request comments, but just say, yeah. Let me get back over here, share this again. Yeah, you do want, this is how I know that you have done that. Let me show you something else while we're into this. Go back to task string. When I review competency folios, I click on these tabs. I have author, reviewer, and that's when I evaluate them. But when I'm just reviewing and giving you feedback, I click on reviewer. Now you guys are getting like, this is like a backstage pass to a Rolling Stones concert. You're getting to go into the JAG and Keith Richards dressing room right now, where not a lot of people are supposed to be. So I'm giving you a backstage pass right now to this. Your group is MELS, excuse me, Spring 21. I've got a group of Fall 2020. So I click on Fall 2020, and I've got two groups. It tells me to select the group. I hit that, I do a search, and I hit continue, and then everybody will show up and their portfolios. And that's people who have created a portfolio and dropped artifacts in. But since you guys are new in the program, when I do Spring 21, I'll show you what happens. MELS Spring 21, no work has been shared with you for review. So until you create that competency folio and you click request comments, I can't access that. I have no idea whether you've created it or you haven't created. Just like Libby said a while ago, she's been in, you know, creating and kind of messing around with it. If you created a competency folio, I won't be able to see it until you click request comments. That's when I can see it, because as I said, this is kind of your thing for you to make your own and use past Gardner Webb. So it's kind of one of the benefits, I guess you could say it's one of the perks of the tuition you pay for, is you get access to having your own electronic portfolio. It's not anything that I can go in and control and manipulate. You have to give me permission to go in there and look and make comments. So that's why if you don't click request comments, then I won't be able to see it. So what you do is, as we said before, is you go into your competency folio, you put in any artifact that you want to, any of the ones dealing with the ABSL. When you're ready, don't click publish and share. If you notice, you won't even see a request comments box here yet. Don't click publish and share, because that's not going to be allowed. That just allows me, that just gives me viewing rights. That doesn't allow me to make any comments or give you any feedback. What you do is you click on, you know, whatever evidence that you should be working with. And if you click on the evidence, then you see request comments comes up. You click on request comments. Okay, I just dropped an artifact into communication. I want Joe to take a look at it. So I click on communication. Let's say I put one in conflict management too. You click continue, and then I look for his name. I click, there's Dr. Bullis. Okay, so I want him to review my portfolio. I click on his name. I click continue. And this is what just kind of, you have successfully requested comments from Joe Bullis. So once you did that, I get an email. And that email tells me that, you know, that John Rutherford has requested comments for you from the competency folio. So that way I'll know that you put something in there that you want me to look at. So I just sent myself an email, but I'll take care of that later. Any questions? And if you'll notice, once I do that, it now says in red, comments requested. And so that's my view. So I've gone back into clinical coach mode here. And so when I open up the portfolio, it says that, you know, Joe Bullis has requested comments from me on communication conflict. So I go in and I review, and of course he didn't do anything. Joe Bullis didn't put any artifacts in there. So I go up there and type in, you know, where's the artifact, or NA. And then I click submit, and then you get a notification that comments have been made. That's kind of the process. All right, so any other questions that you guys got? I'll stay here and help you all that I need to help you, but I don't want to spend your time if you got something else you need to be doing. Yes, ma'am. Libby, I see your hand up. What can I do for you?
Okay, so I apologize if this question seems silly. I just want to, you know, figure this out.
Sure, no problem.
Our whole Apsel narrative that we've been working on, okay. I thought that we were supposed to have that all together, you know, in one big paper. So I guess what I'm hearing is that, like, you're an artifact or an evidence, you would just put, like, say if it was task 1 for communication, that would be evidence for communication, and you would just put in task 1 paper, or do you put in the whole paper and then that person goes and reads and scrolls through all of your tasks to find task 1?
Yeah, that's great. And this is very common, and there's a lot to process. Don't get the competency folio confused with the direct response folio. Okay, your Apsel document, the process that we've been going through is you do task 1, you get review. I tell you to drop it into the evaluation Dropbox, and we do all that. And then at the end, once you go through that process, we will get to the end. Now I'm going to get off of task stream, and I am getting into my shell. All right, so once you complete all the Apsel 1 through 5, and you get a grade for Apsel 1 through 5, then I'm going to tell you that's when you put it all into one document. And you take that one document after you got your grade for Apsel Task 5, and then you upload it for the Apsel Final Evidence. That's where you take that Apsel complete document and you upload it here. That gives me the chance to look at it one more time before it's evaluated. So once I tell you, okay, you got 100 for this, and then I say in the comment section, I'll say ready for task stream. So there you take that one document and you go to task stream. And in task stream, when you pull up your task stream, you should automatically see this, something very similar to this. This is your DRF. This is your direct response folio. All right, and this is where you upload the Apsel. Now, once you've done that, you're done with the Apsel as a whole document. It's being evaluated now. The evaluator, he or she is going to look through the document against all the rubrics from task 1 through 5, make sure everything's there, and then give you a grade. Not a grade, but a rating. And it's going to be, you know, it's either a 3 or a 4, or it could be less than 3, but that rarely happens to my students. 3 or 4. 3 is proficient, 4 is accomplished, you're good to go. You don't have to submit that Apsel whole document anywhere else. But within that Apsel documents are artifacts that you've collected. Screenshot of permission for the principal to give you a PLC, an agenda, pictures of you leading the meeting, maybe even, and you may even have not included, you may even have a video clip of you conducting the meeting. Those artifacts represent your proficiency in 21 competencies. So you pull those artifacts out of the Absol. If you've got them embedded, you don't have to. You could have saved them in a separate folder. But wherever you got those artifacts out, you pull them out after that. After you've uploaded the Absol final evidence narrative, the whole document, and it's being evaluated, then you go into your competency folio. And it's asking me if I want to, let me go. No, I'll submit later. Okay. So you go into your competency folio, and now those artifacts you drop into the competencies that they're correlated to. And so you don't have to do anything with the final document anymore. You're pulling out pieces from that final document and dropping them in here, and then labeling them, and then giving a brief description of what they are. Yeah, great question. And it happens. It can be really confusing. And once you do it, even next semester when you're in 602, we'll still go over this several times. By 603, it'll become more routine to you. But I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a place that many candidates, kind of it's a little bit confusing, the process. And are we good?
Thank you.
I'm glad you said that. It gives a good chance for a review.
Thank you.
Right. Anything else for the good of the cause? Hey, Josh, you getting ready to say something?
No, I'm just sitting here.
Okay, you had your mic turned on, and I was thinking you get ready to say something. Sorry, man, I didn't mean to mess you up.
Well, I turned it on earlier because where you said the request, I wanted to make sure that I didn't mash or click the wrong button on requesting the review, so you didn't have 21 things to go through. I just want to make sure I didn't mess up on that part.
No, I haven't looked at anybody's yet. So, because as I was showing you, when I click on spring 2021, which is all of you, it says no one has gave me permission to look at their stuff yet. So you're in good shape. You're in good shape. All right. Any other questions or comments? Yes, Libby.
So do you ever walk a student through dropping artifacts into TaskStream? Like, I'm a little anxious about making a mistake and doing it wrong, and then, having you have to answer an A to everything. So, do you ever do that? Like the student shares the screen with you and you're like, okay, now you're going to drop it here, or?
No, but I'll be happy to. And I'm sorry. I didn't mean like you do that, I'm coming after you, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
No, it's me, not you.
I tell you what, God has given me so much grace and forgiven me so many times. When I think about how many times I messed up and he's forgiven me, it's so easy for me to forgive other people. So if you make that mistake, I'm not going to write you a nasty note or anything like that, but I'll be happy to do that. Now I have done a step-by-step process in writing some of the tasks in the Absol, have done that. So, and I'll be happy to do that. And for you, Libby, or anybody else that's listening, if you want to do that and say, yeah, we'll set up a time and I'll watch you do it and then make comments. So yeah, no problem with that at all. Yeah. So I didn't mean you guys to see my angry red face. All right, good deal. Good stuff. What else can I help you with? And Libby, yeah, if you want to do that, yeah, shoot me an email and we'll set a time and date, and I'll be happy to do that. I'm getting my second vaccination tomorrow, so I'm probably good for tomorrow night doing some stuff. But and that first one hit me hard. I was having chills and fever. I didn't sleep that night because I was shaking so bad. And yeah, I thought the first one was nothing. So if the first one hit me like that, the second one I'm a little bit nervous about. So I might not be good for anything on Saturday. Might be good, Sunday to help you out, but tomorrow night, oh boy, thanks, Tracy. Tracy said the second one is a beast. So, like I said, I might not be good to help out Saturday, but we could do something tomorrow evening. or even anytime next week or the next week or the next week or the next week, whenever you get to it. Your priority now is just finish up the Absol. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, great. I'll do that. And let's see, Nazmul, oh, wow. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys sharing that. It makes me feel a little better because I always heard, well, you know, my 78-year-old dad got them both, and he was out getting his garden ready the next day. And I'm like, how are you doing this at your age? And it didn't bother him a bit, but it did. It knocked me out. So, oh, wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Wow. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so here we go. Anything else? I actually have another candidate waiting that needs some help in one of the other cohorts, but I told them just to stand pat. I'll get to them when I can because you know this is your time, so you let me know. Yeah, I'll post this recording. I'll post it so you guys can get the benefit of everything. Probably be tomorrow or yeah, probably tomorrow sometime. Do it during my lunch break. All right. If not, it'll definitely be tomorrow evening. That was good, Libby. Thank you. All right, my friends. As always, if you need me, reach out and I will help you. I hope and pray you and your family stay safe. Everybody has a great week. Josh, it's good. Joshua, it's good to see you made it home safely, my friend. Excellent driving skills. Excellent driving skills. Your driver's ed instructor will be proud. Hey, all right, guys, God bless you all, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.